What have we here? A nice diamondback rattlesnake who appears to be sleeping. Uh-oh. Maybe not so much. He doesn't look very happy to see me. Oh, he looks mad. I think I better get back into the vet. Oh crap, there's another one over here and another one over there. I might not live long enough to finish this video. Oh crap. I wonder if one crawled in the car. That's what I get for having the door open and the top down. So I got on the web and saw the promotional material for this brand new 2020 mid-engine Corvette. And I figured, hey, if Jay Leno can get one to drive, why can't I? So I got on my sophisticated flip phone I got at Walmart for 15 bucks, called the head of GM and said, hey, I want to drive a brand new Corvette. And I want it delivered in my driveway by tomorrow. And I want silver paint too, so let's make it snappy. Well, the good news is they did deliver a brand new Corvette in my driveway the next day, even in the silver color I wanted. But as you can see, it wasn't the brand new mid-engine 2020 model we were all dreaming about. It's the 2019 front engine version. But that's okay, this is one of the meanest looking Corvettes they ever made. And deep inside, I can't help feeling there's something un-American about putting the engine behind the seats. Until someone convinces me otherwise, I prefer to have the engine in front, especially when it's this nice Chevy small block 6.2 liter, putting out 455 horsepower or 460 horsepower, depending on the exhaust system you get. The two best performance V8s ever made, a small block Chevy like this, and of course the Chrysler Hellcat engine. And even people who don't know much about cars will know there's something special under the hood when they see this cool looking exhaust outlet. The first thing you might want to ask yourself before buying one of these Corvettes, do you want the 8-speed automatic seen here or the 7-speed manual? Performance-wise, the 8-speed automatic outperforms the 7-speed manual. It's quicker, easier to drive, and you do have paddle shifters on the steering wheel if you want to choose gears yourself. On the other hand, this engine loves to rev and is just begging for a manual gearbox. Now I've driven the 7-speed manual and find it to match this engine just perfectly. And the actual performance difference isn't that big of a gap. A reputable publication tested both the automatic and manual Corvette. They got a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds and a quarter mile of 12 in the manual. Slightly quicker, 0 to 63.7, quarter mile 11.9 in the automatic, but come on the street, are you really going to notice a difference? Probably not. It's like this, if you're going to buy a Corvette as your only vehicle for daily transportation, you're probably better off with the automatic. It's a lot easier to live with. If you're buying a Corvette as a second car, as most people do, don't dismiss the manual. It's great fun to drive. And this is the last year they're going to have manual transmissions. All the 2020s are going to be automatics. Something to consider. The second decision you have to make is how much you're going to pay for one of these. One of the advantages is the base starting price of $56,000. The convertible, like this, starts around $61,000. But somehow the vehicles they send me always end up costing a bit more. In fact, I have the price sheet here right in front of me. Here we're starting off around 70 grand, and we have this preferred equipment group with a bunch of stuff we really don't need but get anyway. Here's some more goodies with the price tag. And this is what we're looking for. We're 12 grand in options, shipping and handling. A tidy $84,030. This Grand Sport is definitely a sharp looking car. I got lots of compliments regardless of where I park it. Looks pretty cool, especially with these red stripes. However, when I show them the price sticker of 84 grand, most people kind of balk and said, come on, it's a bit too much for a Vet. Well, get used to it, folks, because the new mid-engine Corvette, they're lowballing us at $59,000. I guarantee you, you will never in your lifetime see that mid-engine Corvette anywhere near 60 grand. Just like you'll never see this older model anywhere for 56 grand. They always load them up with everything, and the only way you'll ever get a Corvette for the base price is factory order it and wait 6 months. You're not going to find one on the showroom floor. That's just the way it is. They sell all they do, so why should they sell them for less? Before we continue on the video, there's a very, very important piece of information you need to know if you have a 2019 Corvette. And that involves this fuel filler system, which does not have a gas cap, similar to what Ford has. You simply go to the station, stick the nozzle in, and you're done. That's a positive feature. Here's a negative feature. It has an internal lock. So you run out of gas, you call the auto club, they come with a gas can and a nozzle. That nozzle will not fit in there. Any type of funnel will not fit in there unless it is a specific type designed by GM, as I have in my hand. In order to use an emergency gas can, you have to put this in here. You don't have this, nothing fits except the nozzle at the gas station. This is in your glove box. You need to look and make sure it's there. If it's not and you run out of gas, you're kind of screwed. The emergency guys can't help you if they don't have one of these. Are you glad you watched this video? It just saved you a lot of hassle. I always get emails saying, hey, how come they designed it like this? Well, there's two reasons. First of all, Americans are lazy. They want to inconvenience themselves by turning a gas cap. And secondly, it was designed so people can't siphon gas out with a hose, but if you go down to the GM dealer and buy one of these, I guess that wouldn't stop you, would it? I don't care for these designs, but you buy the car, you get it, live with it. Fortunately, when you lock the car, this panel locks, so a lot of thieves are going to have a lot of trouble getting in there to swipe your gas, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. By the way, with a fuel tank of just about 18 gallons, combined with a V8 engine running 15 miles per gallon in the city, a lot better 25 on the highway, you'll probably be stopping at the gas station for fill-ups quite often. We're going to be racking up a lot of miles on this to get the real-world fuel economy, so don't go away. Since this is a convertible, you're probably wondering how to lower the top. Frankly, I have no clue. Haven't done it yet, but I think it has something to do with this button here. Well, that didn't take long. Gives a nice view of the cabin. You do get a trunk. Not a big trunk, but something's better than nothing. No spare tire, of course. There is enough room for my tire repair kit. So let's go inside the interior and see what we got here. And there are two complaints I have right off the bat. If you watch my videos, one of the biggest complaints I have are wide rocker panels under the door, especially the ones that collect dirt and debris. Well, this one certainly is wide, and it certainly picks up the dirt. It rained last night. Look at all that. That gets on your pants. But it's a sports car. You just have to live with it. Oh yeah, by the way, this is pretty low to the ground. Look out for speed bumps. And the second gripe, which is just personal to me, what I call the kneecap buster. This slightly sharp edge on the end of the dashboard. Couldn't they have rounded this off? My knee's always slamming on this. If you're slightly bigger than me, you might have that problem too, but these aren't deal killers, they're just aggravations you have to put up with if you have this Corvette. There is a console between the seats, but it doesn't really hold anything to speak of. Maybe a wallet. There is room in this glove box. the drive mode button. This car does have a launch control system for quick 0 to 60 times. I haven't tried it. I think it's controlled by this button. I'm more interested in how it does 0 to 60 on the street just by pressing the gas. For all you James Bond fans, there's a secret compartment behind the screen where you can put your wallet and phone, all kinds of goodies. Of course, the problem is if you get a dead battery and you need to find your phone and wallet to pay for the tow truck, how do you get in there? Guess we're not supposed to worry about that. And when you push the mode button, here are the choices: Eco, Touring, Sport, Track. These are fancy looking headlights. Got all the glare here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small bulbs. And another one down in here we can't see. Well, it doesn't matter. We're going to take these out in the dark and see how they perform. That counts more than looks. It's dark enough. Let's see how these headlights perform. Here we have the low beams on a fence 100 feet away. Seems bright enough for city driving. These are the high beams on a building 300 feet away with a chain link fence in between. Bright enough, go to low beam. Just barely reaches out. Adequate for city driving. High beam's great for country driving. Here's what the rear view camera looks like in the dark. Decent illumination. I do think the lens is a bit dirty though from today's rain. And here are the 3 forward cameras in the dark. Works better in the daytime. We'll try it in the daytime later. This vehicle came with a heads-up display. Lots of useful information at the press of a button. We'll turn out the lights so you can see it better. Here we have the lights on high beam. Here's some road signs, half-mile down the road. Lights up pretty good. Go to low beam. Again, lights up pretty good. These headlights are doing a pretty good job on this backcountry road. As I've said in previous videos, we got mountain lions out here you don't want to hit. They get rather upset. Some nasty skunks too. You don't want to hit them either. And this car is really sticking to the road. I think we'll have a lot of fun with it. Since I went to the trouble of coming all the way out here to do a headlight test, I might as well go to the trouble of doing a short fuel economy test. Around 35 to 40 miles. No traffic. Nice cruise control. We'll see what happens. Well, at this hour, there's no traffic at all, so it's smooth sailing all the way. No passing. No accelerating. We might do pretty good on these fuel economy numbers. We'll know in a couple of minutes when I pull over. Well, numbers don't lie. 38 miles, 31.8 mpg, cruising at 65 miles per hour. Can't beat that. We'll be racking up around 700 miles before this test is over, so you might want to watch the entire video. This concludes the part 1 of the video where we do show and tell. Part 2, we're going to do some driving, rack up some miles and fuel economy figures. Before we do that, if you're going to drive a Corvette, you have to understand this is a very low riding vehicle, probably the lowest of any production car on the planet. Well, almost anyway. So you have to be very careful when approaching curves and speed bumps. Fortunately, these speed bumps at our test facility are pretty mild, so we're going to do what we always do in our videos. Drive over speed bumps at 20 to 25 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance on impacts. We're doing this in the touring mode. In fact, most of my driving will be in the touring mode unless I say otherwise. Bump number 1. Wow, didn't feel a thing. That was pretty smooth. Here comes number 2. Unbelievable. I didn't feel anything. Didn't hear anything. Here comes number 3. Here comes the nasty one. Hang on. Yeah, it bounced around a bit, but very smooth. Very surprising considering these monster-sized tires. The Corvette engineers definitely did a great job on the suspension design as far as comfort goes. These tires are pretty big, and I'm wondering about the road racket it might make on the freeway. We'll find out in a couple of minutes because we're going to take this on a long highway trip. We're also going to be getting some fuel economy readings, so let's start that now. Coming up in the rest of this video, today we're going to take this on a fuel economy run about 225 miles, get the MPG readings. Nothing exciting there. Then tomorrow, we're going to rack up around 400 miles in the backcountry roads with tight mountain curves and nice long straightaways. Bring this car out and see what it does. That's around 650 miles of performance and economy evaluation, and you don't even have to pay for the gas. So let's move along and do it. We're going to take a highway trip around 75 miles per hour, give or take, and see what type of fuel economy we get. Can't wait. This is a well-made convertible top. Does an excellent job of keeping wind noise out. Unfortunately, these giant tires make a lot of rumbling noises, and there's not much you can do to keep that racket out. That's just one of the small prices you have to pay for owning a sports car with a monster-sized V8. We're coming to the end of our trip. We'll pull over and see what the figure says. If my memory serves me right, the EPA was claiming 25 mpg on the highway. In any case, we got 25.2. I'm satisfied. Let's reset the meter to 0 and take one more freeway trip. Might do better this time. Then again, we might not. We reached the end of our trip. We'll pull over and see what our figure says this time. I see it's a little hot outside. That doesn't do much for fuel economy. Well, let's see what it turned out to be. Well, here are the figures. 109 miles, doing 76 miles per hour. 28.6 mpg. A little bit better than last time. Don't know why, but who cares, right? This is road trip number 2. I don't really care about fuel economy. It's more about enjoyment and performance. We're going to try for 400 miles, but if we're in a hurry, might do 300. We'll soon find out. The sound of that V8 exhaust. This is what the Corvette is best at, if you're not drag racing anyway, cruising on backcountry roads. If you watch my videos, you know what's coming up next. Because if you're going to drive on this road, it's mandatory you stop and say hi to Tommy the Toad. Brings you good luck if you do, bad luck if you don't. And we don't want bad luck. Big little fellow. So let's get back on our way. most of this trip I'll be putting it in the sport mode and using the paddle shifters whenever needed. A bit more fun that way. Looks like we got a rainstorm coming. To bypass that rainstorm, we're going to have to take a detour on Dead Man's Road, one of the most dangerous pavements in the state. Lots of rock slides, cattle out in the middle of the road, no guardrails, tight corners. Need a good vehicle, good driver too. We got both here. This Corvette takes corners like a champ, as you would expect it to. That's a nasty drop off there. When you're on a backcountry road with tight corners, the paddle shifters seem to be a better option, because you get the exact gear you want at the exact time you want. I'm going to take a little rest here, let the brakes cool off. It's hot out here, 115 degrees last time I looked at the dash. So far, we've racked up 142 brisk miles, 21 miles to the gallon. I'm very impressed. If you like cars, you just haven't lived until you've driven a Corvette the way it was meant to be. And if you can't afford one, you can always rent one. Be the best money you ever spent. I like the front end forward camera system. Looks like we have 3 of them here. It's designed to keep you from hitting curbs, but since I'm driving the desert, it also keeps me from hitting rocks and running over the harmless little rattlesnakes. We don't want to bother them, it's bad luck. Away we go. Obviously, we won't be doing any more performance driving for the rest of this drive. In fact, these summer tires aren't very happy on this wet road. I'm getting a bit of fishtailing on the rear end. So we're going to keep it under 100 miles per hour, I think. 455 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, and slick summer tires do not mix on a wet road. And if you think traction control is going to save you in a setup like that, not going to happen. Well, at least the road's gotten drier. I can imagine the phone call I'd be making. Hey, Chevrolet, I just hydroplaned your $84,000 Corvette into a tree and totaled it. Could you send me a replacement, please? Why, sure, Mr. Harold, be in your driveway first thing in the morning. Safety first. Keep your eyes on the road. As I always do. Nice view, huh? Our goal of today's trip was to do some performance driving on the backcountry roads. A maximum of 400 miles and a minimum of 300 miles. Obviously, we had to turn back because of the slick roads, but I would say 286.5 miles is close enough to the 300. And 21.7 mpg is a very impressive figure considering the type of driving we were doing. The goal was to put 700 miles in 1 week of driving. Looks like we just made it, averaging 20.3 mpg, a reasonable figure. Time to wrap up this video. So what's my take on this Corvette? Well, I think the 2019 model seen here is the best one made thus far. Whether the new Midge in 2020 is better remains to be seen. And if you think you're really going to get one of those new mid-engine Corvettes for the advertised base price of $59,000, dream on, it's never going to happen. Just like you'll never get a 2019 Corvette seen here for the base price. Chevy doesn't make any money at those prices, and that's why they load them up with everything. And that's why the ones you're going to see on the showroom with the mid-engine will be loaded up with everything. That's just the way it is in Corvette world. So if you don't like the idea of a mid-engine Corvette and prefer one with the engine in front, quit complaining, go down and buy one. Or rent one, it's not that expensive. In the meantime, here are some links to other performance cars we've driven lately. Just click and watch. And subscribe. I need the gas money.